Hi, my name is Adrienne Blumthal, and today I'm going to show you how to make a black bottom raspberry cream pie. So for this pie, you're going to need a lot of ingredients. It's not necessarily a complicated pie, it's just a multi-step pie. So some of the things that you will need are egg yolks, cornstarch, sugar, vanilla, milk, cream, a second sugar, butter, a little bit of brandy, some chocolate chips, some raspberries, and some gelatin. So the first thing that we're going to do is make the raspberry compote. This is a very, very simple compote. We're going to do that by combining 3 cups of raspberries in a saucepan. Let's get them right in there. And then we're going to add sugar, about 1/4 cup. And then we're going to add brandy, just about a tablespoon. Get the rest of the sugar out. All right, now we're going to heat this on a pretty decent medium-high heat. And we want to stir it around to make sure that all of the raspberries are coated. The sugar is going to break down the raspberries, the juices in the raspberries. The brandy is going to assist with that as well. And you can use your spatula and you can break up parts of the raspberries as well. What we're doing is making a raspberry sauce that we're going to then use in our cream pie. So we're going to break these up and stir. And just continue cooking them over a medium to moderate heat. This is probably going to take about 5 to 7 minutes. So obviously we used fresh raspberries for this pie, but you can absolutely use frozen raspberries. Just make sure to thaw them a little bit before you cook them stovetop. Everything else would remain the same. You could even use a raspberry jam in replacement of the compote. That works great as well. We're going to remove them from the heat. And we're going to pour them through a sieve or a mesh strainer. And this is so that we can get rid of all of the seeds. So it's a really easy process. You're just going to dump them right in and then use a spatula to push them around to the side. And this juice is absolutely delicious and is also what is going to flavor the raspberry portion of the pie. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take gelatin and we're going to bloom it. We're going to take a teaspoon of gelatin and we're going to bloom it with a tablespoon of water, and we're going to set that aside. And then we're going to combine cream, a cup, 1/2 cup of milk, and 2 tablespoons of vanilla. Stir those, give those just a quick stir together. And then we're going to heat them over a medium-high heat. While that's happening, we're going to combine our egg yolks, our sugar, and just a little bit of cornstarch. And we're going to whisk these together while our milk and cream mixture is heating. And you're going to want to whisk these until they're about a pale yellow color. It's really important when you are mixing sugar and egg yolks that you're moving pretty constantly. All right, now our milk is just starting to scald. This is where we want it to be. You can tell this by, because there's little bubbles that are forming around the side. You can also see a little skin forming on top. So now comes the really important part. We are going to very slowly whisk our egg yolk sugar mixture into the milk and cream. mixture. It's really important that while you do this, while the eggs are going into the hot milk, that you're moving them constantly. Otherwise, you will end up with sweet scrambled eggs. And because this mixture has cornstarch in it, it's going to thicken a lot quicker and have more of a pudding-like consistency. When it starts to get thick, we're going to add our gelatin. And just mix it in. The heat from the custard is going to melt the gelatin. This is starting to get thick, nice and thick, just the way we want it. So we're going to remove it from the heat, or a mesh strainer. This is going to make sure that if there's any little bits left over, they're all going to get caught in that. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we are going to pour about a half a cup of this custard. Just use a measuring, I like to use a glass measuring cup, just makes it easier. And then we're going to add our chocolate chips. Just stir, stir, stir until they're melted and it's all incorporated. We're going to pull out our cookie pie pan, and this is just a traditional cookie crust. It's vanilla wafers. I just added a little bit of cocoa powder. You can use a regular pie crust. Black bottom actually doesn't necessarily refer to what color the crust is, but the bottom of the pie. So as long as that is a black bottom, then you're fine. So I'm going to pour that in. Use an offset spatula to smooth it around. If you don't have an offset spatula, a regular spatula is totally fine. Good. All right, and then we're going to put this in the refrigerator and let it set up, and then we're going to put on our raspberry cream layer. While the chocolate portion of your black bottom pie is in the refrigerator cooling, we're gonna get the remaining custard ready. So we're gonna add the butter, 2 tablespoons, and we're gonna stir that around just to combine it. And again, the heat from the custard is going to melt the butter, no problem. And then remember that wonderful raspberry sauce we made? Well, we are also going to add that directly to the custard. To make a very beautiful and wonderfully tasting raspberry sauce. Okay. So we're going to continue stirring to mix. And once they are combined, we're going to set them aside again because right now they're too hot. The next step is going to be to fold in a cup of whipped cream, but if we did that now, it would melt. So we're going to set this aside for about 20 minutes. We'll fold in our whipped cream and then we can finish our pie. All right, once your chocolate bottom has set and your raspberry custard has cooled, we're going to fold in 1 cup of whipped cream. And we're just going to fold it into the mixture. And basically we're just incorporating the cream and the raspberry. Okay, and once it's combined, we are going to pour this cream pie filling directly onto the chocolate. So you can see how it's falling right over the top of the chocolate. And then I'm just going to use my offset spatula just to smooth out the lumps. And get a nice border around. And then before it sets, I'm going to garnish it with some raspberries. And I'm just going to do this by putting them all the way through. So after we have our berries on, we're going to take this pie and we're going to transfer it to the refrigerator and let it chill for at least 4 hours or overnight. My name is Adrienne Blumthal, and I just showed you how to make a black bottom raspberry cream pie.